I want to talk about vouchers. There's a name associated with vouchers. If there's any one name associated with vouchers, it's the name of Milton Friedman. He was the one who is most associated with this from the Chicago school, as opposed to the Austrian. You never find an Austrian promoting such an idiotic, evil thing. Look, shame. I did talk about vouchers as making public schools more efficient, but you're quite right that vouchers, the way Milton Friedman applies, is to apply to private schools too, which is even more evil. Because what did I say? The power follows the money. Who pays the piper calls the tune. If the government is giving money to Catholic schools or the government is giving money to private schools, the government is going to start saying things like, oh, well, you can't say he, you have to say he or she. You know, you have to be politically correct. You can't discriminate. You can't denigrate homosexuals. And, you know, the Catholic Church is having troubles with homosexuals. You have to have women priests, and the point is that when the government money goes, government power goes. So what you're now doing is polluting private education. Look, Milton Friedman, I wouldn't say is a socialist. But on the other hand, I wouldn't say he's not a socialist. Look, he favored the negative income tax. The negative income tax plays right into welfare rights that Jan was talking about. See, right, without the negative income tax, it's welfare, it's the dole, it's something a little queasy or something. But if it's negative income tax, then you have a right to it, just as you pay a positive income tax.
Socialist flag in the U.S., you can call the NDP socialist, and so they can get elected here. But how can then, so instead of spending a lot of time and effort trying to get elected, is there some way to do what the socialists did and essentially take the populism and make that mainstream? So, in other words, instead of getting elected, is there another way to get your goals or get our goals accepted as mainstream in society?
Well, this is sometimes called Fabianism in reverse, because this was the Fabian model of promoting socialism, not necessarily by getting elected, by getting the other parties to steal your platform. Well, what did the Fabians do? What the Fabians did was, quote, go to meetings and write books. That's what they did. Well, that's what we're trying to do.
They also put themselves in positions of power. They've had their people in...
Well, Ron Paul is in a position of power. He might be possibly the next president. Rand Paul is a senator. Ron Paul is a congressman. This guy, Gary Johnson, isn't all bad. There are other people. The guy in New Jersey, Christie, is okay. I mean, we're trying all sorts of legitimate legal activities. Moral activities, both.
You know what's interesting
but again, the key is writing books and going to meetings is a large part of it.
Okay, I want to ask my question. I'm sorry. I can remember reading about the Social Democrats fighting the communists in Germany in the 1930s. And the Social Democrats wanted to pass certain laws. And the communists said, no way, because if those laws get passed, there's no way there'll be a revolution and the communism will never get pure socialism. And I'm afraid that libertarians, especially Walter here, has fallen into that same trap. By not getting the full possibility of a libertarian world, he's going to fight for anything that even moves towards that. In British Columbia, in another month, we're going to have a referendum about the HST. I don't like taxes. I don't like taxes very much at all, but I think I understand the difference between a really terrible, terrible tax and one that's just terrible. And I think the HST is a less terrible tax than what we had before. And I don't understand why a libertarian cannot say, yes, we would prefer... When I can't get the best, I would prefer something just a little bit less worse. And can a libertarian make that claim? And I don't think this is in any way justifying the concentration campers or concentration guards. I would favor them cutting off fingers instead of cutting off arms.
I don't see anything wrong with the second best and incrementalism. If they lower taxes from 15% to 14%, or what are the corporate tax from 19 to 15 or whatever it is, I favor that. I just don't think that vouchers are a move forward. I think that vouchers are a move back. If I saw it as a move forward, I would favor it. Look, right now the minimum wage in the U.S. is around $7.50. I would favor a reduction to $7 or to $6.50. Not that I favor any minimum wage, but certainly a reduction in it is better than an increase.
Right.
So I don't see anything wrong with that.
So would you, as a libertarian, say that there are some taxes that are less bad than other taxes?
Yes, Murray Rothbard favored, he once was asked, what's the best tax? And he said the poll tax or the head tax. You know what that is. Everyone pays the same amount. $15 each or whatever the poorest guy can pay.
Right.
And he also was a great compromiser, a real wimp, and he said he'd be willing to go back to the budget of George Washington. So I favor incrementalism, but it has to be clearly toward liberty. But vouchers are not clearly toward liberty. I think they're away from liberty, but at least you have to admit that they're not clearly for liberty, because there are arguments, many arguments against vouchers. So don't think that the pure libertarian says, no, it's all the way or no way. A move that's
I hear
clear.
that in you sometimes.
I'm sorry, no, I don't see that at all. I now say that any clear move toward liberty is a good move.
I agree with you 100%.
What?